What's up, YouTube? Deadpool 2323 here. Trying to get a little more square to it. The Megacon haul. So this is, you know, if you haven't watched all my videos, my first video ever was after Megacon 3 years ago. So this marks the 2nd year anniversary of me doing videos. I've done videos for 2 full years. It also marks my 3rd Megacon haul. And I'm more excited about this haul than any haul I've ever done. I know it's going on 10 o'clock at night here on a Tuesday. But normally I do Megacon haul the day I get home. I didn't have time. So, we're a minute into the video and we're going to get into the stuff. And we're doing it live. So the first couple books weren't from Megacon. I had a couple books waiting for this haul. So the first book I got was Despicable Me 287, the Clayton Crane variant. Love this cover. Beautiful book. Let me see if I can get in a glare there. I'm sorry, guys. What's up, man, from Beantown? So my buddy gave me this for my birthday, my good friend Joe. It's a Clayton Crane variant. I love it. I'm so happy that I have it. Thank you, Joe. My second 2 books, Future Imperfect Part 1. Picked this up in a collection I bought, and I decided to keep it. I was going to sell it, but I didn't have these books, and I really like the... yeah, right now you are the only one here, man, from Beantown. But this is the first appearance of Maestro. And then I got the second one, too. I've actually been looking for these. They can get a little pricey at times. This is the Origin and Death of Maestro, I guess. And the first cover of Maestro. That's Maestro. Robert Banner. These next 2 books I picked up because I really like the cover. And I thought they were Francisco Mattina. And Mattina was at Megacon. I was going to have Mattina sign. Couple things. Mattina charges $40. He doesn't speak very good English, and his handlers are real assholes from everybody I've talked to. I personally didn't deal with the guy, so I can't verify from myself that he's that way, but that's what everybody said about the guy. That guys were very confused about how to get it CGC verified or CBCS verified, and they're like, oh, just get it signed, and then you take it over there, and they wanted to charge extra money, like one guy went over and they told him, well, if you're not paying us to CGC verify it, then we can't get you in. But if you pay us to verify it, then we'll get you in. Like, there was limited in how many, I don't know. It was really weird. And I also heard that Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead, just in the middle of Saturday, got up and walked out and never came back. He was supposed to be there all day Saturday, all day Sunday. And there was like 4 people left in line for his signing session for Saturday, for the morning session. And he chose not to do that. I don't know what happened. Maybe there was an emergency. I don't know. They never really said. But these next 2 books, I thought they were Mattina, but I can't find anything that says they are. And I decided not to get his autograph because it was $40. And, I mean, if I'm going to pay $40 for his autograph, I'm going to pay $80 for Rob Liefeld to do my New Mutants 98. And I didn't decide to do that either. So, but I love that cover. Don't know who did it. So if you guys know who did this one, and then this one too. This was the 2 Jean Grey covers. They look like Mattina, but they're not. So, man, this glare is horrible. I'm gonna figure out how to see something here. I can. No, that's not gonna work. Yeah, I don't know. They are cool covers. This next book I found in a dollar bin. This is the last book I didn't get at Megacon. This is Joseph Michael Lisner's Dawn, Series #1. Love Joseph Michael Lisner's work. I didn't have anything Dawn. Dawn's his own character. To date, to my knowledge, he's the only artist that's ever drawn Dawn. So he was at Free Comic Book Day last year. I was able to interview him. He was a super cool guy, very nice guy. And if he comes back, if I get a chance to meet him again, I'm going to get him to sign this. The only reason I picked it up, I'm not a Dawn fan, but I love his artwork. I think it's beautiful. And it's honestly an awesome cover. Super sexy. All right, so The next book I got this for $2. It says 20 on it, but I got it for $2 in a $2 bin. Amazing Spider-Man 316. Spider-Man joins the Avengers. I'm actually planning on just selling this. The last one I sold for $5, so I just figured for two bucks. I picked this next book up for $2 as well. It's Amazing Spider-Man number 180. This is the Death of Green Goblin. This is the Bart Hamilton Green Goblin. So again, I'm not a big Spider-Man fan. I'm not going to keep it. I'm assuming it's not a reprint, but I'm not sure. So I have to look into it. But either way, I think for $2 it was worth buying. And then the last book I bought for that I'm not keeping was Amazing Spider-Man 150. I apologize. I didn't want to put these books into Mylar. Again, I paid $2 for Amazing Spider-Man 150. I don't think you can go wrong on that. All right. Now we're going to get into the haul. This first book I bought is the only dollar bin book I bought the entire con. I'm going to explain that in a minute. Yeah, I said $2, but those aren't dollar bins. Those are $2 bins. Saga number 25. Absolutely love the storyline. I've read them all. I don't own them all. I read the trade papers. So I'm trying to collect them all. If I can pick it up for $1, why not? He had 6 Saga books for $1 a piece. I had all but this one, and I didn't feel like I don't know if Saga's flippable. Probably is, but I just decided not to try. All right. So last year at Megacon, I went on this big rant in my video about this guy who I put a bunch of books together. He had some $2 and $5 books, and I think there was like $40 worth of books, and I offered him $35, and he said no, and he took the books and set them aside, and then he wouldn't sell them to me, and I freaking cussed him out and walked away. He was back. So I'm looking through his books, and I wasn't going to shop there, but he had his wife with him this time. So I'm like, well, maybe he won't be as big of a jerk, and he doesn't remember me. And he had a $2, a $5, and $10. It was all silver, man. All silver and early bronze. And I didn't even go, like I went through the $5 and the $10. There was no X-Men in there. So I go through the $2 bin. And I end up buying, there was one $5 comic I bought, and then the rest were $2. There was $35 total. So 15 Silver Age books for $2. I get and pay him, and the guy pulls out a short box, and he goes, all right, let's play. He goes, you want to buy some more? I said, yeah, the price is right. And he says, $2 a piece. I said, yeah, what do you got? Let me see. He goes, that's not how it works. This is a game. He says, I'm going to pull a book out. If you say yes, it's yours for $2. If you say no, that's it. I stop pulling books out. I said, okay. And at first, honestly, I'm a little annoyed. I'm like, why can't I just go through the box and buy what I want to buy? But it turned out to be super fun. Sorry about that. So I don't know where I left off or where it froze. So what happened was I ended up buying 5 more comics at $2 a piece. And it was fun. And it was probably one of the most fun I've ever had. He'd go through and he was kind of talking. Just super nice guy. Super, super nice guy. Last year, he was a complete jerk. This year, he's a super nice guy. So the moral to the story is you never know from year to year what's going on with a person. So just because you have a bad interaction with a person one time doesn't mean that you got to shut them off forever. I mean, I'm not talking someone that scams you or screws you over, but just, I had a bad interaction with him. It was kind of like Bob Layton. I had a bad interaction from my point of view the first time I dealt with him. The second time, he was fantastic. So don't judge. You can really limit yourself by judging right away and holding on to those grudges and judges. So, the reality was he didn't remember me from Adam, and he had books really cheap that I wanted. So I bought them. All right, so getting into it. $2 a piece. Submariner 13. Trying to complete that Submariner run. And look how, I mean, that's just so nice. The colors really present well. It's a mid-grade book. It's flat. The corners are pretty sharp on it. Submariner 22, the first appearance of the Nameless one. Don't know who that is, but still a cool cover. Submariner 25. I paid $5 for this book. This is the only one I paid $5 for. It's The Origin of Atlantis, but it was in really nice shape. I love the yellow and green. I just thought it was a beautiful cover, and I needed it for my run, so I bought it. Everything else here is $2. Submariner 29. Submariner 38. This is the origin retold of the Submariner. So from the Golden Age, I would imagine. Excuse me, guys. I'm tired. Number 43. This is a double-sized book. That's why it was 25 cents. You know, worth a lot more back then. Worth $2 today. But still pretty cool book to have. 45. Cool book. I think that's Tiger Shark on the cover there. Yeah, it's Tiger Shark. Again, $2 for all these. 47. Nice red, yellow. I mean, look at that. Look at those. I'm going to try to do this a little bit different here. Look at those colors. Huh? Just beautiful. Number 48. This is a white cover. It's a little dirty. Number 49. Nice Modoc, black cover. Really sharp looking book, actually. This one, couple creases, spine ticks, you know, but for a black cover, again, the colors are beautiful on them, on these books. And for $2 a piece, how do you say no to this? Number 51, this is The Origin of Namorita. Again, I love me some Subby. Number 52. Not a lot of keys in these, but again, Silver Age books for $2 you buy them. You know, and the reality is he had a bunch more that I already had. And again, for $2 a piece, I probably should have bought them and tried to sell them, but I was more interested in buying for my collection. I'd been selling so many books lately. I wanted to buy for me. I didn't want to flip. I don't know. Maybe that was dumb of me, but I didn't care. It was what I was there for. This one's number 53. Number 54. And these are early bronze books. These aren't silver at this point. The silver was the first couple. I mean, 68 was when number 1 came out, so you can figure it out. These are all way in the 70s. 55. Excuse me. And 72, which is the last book in the run. So super excited to have those. And then one of the other books, and he just randomly pulled this book out, and I don't know why. I had nothing that represented this. I had no Doctor Strange, but he pulls out Strange Tales 168. Now this, look how beautiful that cover is. I mean, it's flat. It's got some creases. It looks like he presses all his books. I wonder if he has a home press. But I think the colors are beautiful. It really looks good in the Mylar. But this is the last book before it turned into Doctor Strange. Now, if you look it up in a price card, there is a 169, there's Doctor Strange 169, or is it 169 or 169, right? Yeah. But there's also 169, which is the first appearance of Brother Voodoo, but that's later. All right. This next book I paid $9 for. He had a $10 price tag. I offered him $5. He said, "I'll go $9." I said, "All right, I'll save $1." This is X-Men number 62. The first Savage Land mutates, and really, you know, for a $9 Silver Age X-Men, I'm not going to complain. Really nice looking book. The colors really pop on it. For $5, I picked up X-Men number 52. Not a great condition book, but there's nothing special about this book. It's got writing, you can see there, but for $5, it's a filler for the run. You know, I'm not... The keys, I like to, you know, get the best conditions I can. But the fillers, I don't care. I actually bought this at Yancey Street Comics. This actually isn't part of Megacon. I bought it during Megacon at Yancey Street Comics, but not at Megacon. They had a big sale going on. And this is a beautiful condition, Silver Age Marvel, 12-cent book. Silver Age X-Men I paid $10 for. And you can see the colors are just very vibrant on it. So the yellow really pops out, the purple sharp. You know, going through this book, like, honestly, this is, to me, at least a 6.0, maybe higher. This one I picked up for $5. I was happy to do so. It's a really nice condition book, but the cover was detached. But for $5, again, it's just a filler. There's no special thing. It's a cool Magneto cover. The colors pop on it, but again, cover's detached. The last book that guy pulled out for $2 that I said yes to was an X-Men. $2 for this book, X-Men number 34. It is complete. Cover's attached. There's no major rips, but someone took tape and put it all up and down the spine. But for $2 for a filler, I'll do it all day long. I mean, if I put this on Facebook for a sale, I'd get 10. And then for $5, I paid for this X-Men number 24, the first appearance of Locust. This is a book I'll probably upgrade. I won't upgrade many of my Silver Age X-Men. Over time, once I complete the run, I'm probably going to upgrade some. But this is one. I mean, this one's really rough. It's got a nice split there, lots of cracking. But the colors were good on it, and I thought it presented well. So I said, you know what? For $5, I'm not going to lose my money. If and when I upgrade, hopefully I upgrade for the right price, and I'm able to at least make my money back on this. If not, make a profit. All right. The moment I've all been waiting for. The big boys. You've seen a lot of the fillers. You've seen the small stuff. And there's been times where that would have been my haul. You know, I would have put whatever the biggest book was at the end, but I'm sorry about yawning, guys. But I got a couple more books left. As I'm walking out of the show on the last, I went on Thursday and on Sunday, and as I'm walking out on Sunday, I walked by this vendor that I had gone by a couple times and whatever, but I noticed this time what I didn't notice before on his back wall was this book, X-Men number 5. Now, I'd been looking for this book. This is the first appearance of Asteroid M and the second appearance of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Asteroid M, if you don't know, is the home of Magneto. It's his home base. Anyways, everywhere I looked, this book, one guy had this, like a 7.0 in this book for $700. And I was like, no. But I couldn't find it for under $300. And then one guy had it for $250, and I'm just like, but it was like a 2.0. And I'm like, man, when this book jumped so high, you know? This guy had it. I went through the whole book. I'd say this book, it's got some Marvel chipping on top. So if I pull this close, you can see the Marvel chipping on top. But the spine's not bad. There's no tape on it or in it. I'd say it's a solid 4.0. $120. So I bought it. I had bought a book from another dealer, and then I went back later, and I wanted to buy another book from him. And because I bought the other book, he said this book was this next book was $175, and he knocked it down to $100. X-Men number 6. This is the issue where they designate for the first time Namor as a mutant, which makes him the oldest mutant in Marvel continuity. Now, let me explain, because the oldest mutant is Apocalypse, because he was the first mutant. But this means he was literally the first drawn mutant, not Professor X, not the X-Men, Namor, because Namor was being drawn long before the X-Men. I mean, he was in Fantastic Four number 4 as his first Silver Age appearance. And then you've got to think, I mean, he's got all the Golden Age books. So Super happy to get this one in the collection. Love the cover. Obviously I like Submariner, so really cool book to own. It's one of his early appearances. It seems like X-Men or Fantastic Four 4, first Silver Age appearance of Namor. X-Men 6, Namor's designated a mutant, making him the oldest mutant at that time, anyways. Daredevil 7, Namor makes a guest appearance. It's his. That's the first appearance of the red suit. I'm sure there's an early Spider-Man Namor appearance. It seems. I know there's an early Avengers appearance. It seems like Namor made his rounds in the early books, and then eventually got into the, I want to say, Tales to Astonish run, where half the book was about him, half the book was about the Hulk. I got 3 more books to show you. I just showed you X-Men 5 and 6, and I have 3 left. And if you watch my videos, you know that means I've got some good books. X-Men number 3, the first appearance of the Blob. I paid $130 for this book. It's low grade. 2.5, 3.0. It's complete, it's attached, and I love it. Looking for a low grade book. Spine issues, guys. It's definitely got some spine issues. And it's definitely a candidate for a future upgrade. But the green pops on the circle up here. The red in the X-Men looks a little faded, but pretty decent. I opened this book as I had to read what the Blob's first words to an X-Man were. And damn if I can't remember what it was, but it was pretty hilarious. But comment if you know what they are. I just want to see if someone figures it out. But yeah, they really wrote him to sound like a dumb character, like an imbecile. Yep. X-Men number 4, 4.5 CGC verified. First appearance of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. First appearance of Mastermind, Toad, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch. And I want to say second appearance of Magneto. The yellow's booming. The reds are beautiful. It's a 4.5 I paid. So a guy had one for sale for $500. Raw, graded. It wasn't graded, but he said it was a 4.0. I offered him $300. He wouldn't come down. Came down to $430. That's as low as he would go, $430. I got this for $470. $475. So for what little bit more, it's a guaranteed 4.5 non-restored book that I don't have to pay to get CGC'd. It's already CGC'd. This book in this grade on eBay selling for $550, $600 all day long. It was a tough negotiation. I mean, but this was my next, I was looking at getting this at the next con, and I just happened into a good deal. There was only 3 or 4 vendors that even had this book. There was the one raw, there was this one, and there was like a 6.5 or a 7.0. I want to say it was a 6.5, and they wanted like $1,200. So, I mean, that was out of my range at that point. But man, you gotta love that. Great book. So there you go. Megacon was awesome. But I'm not done. Y'all know my big list this year, right? So I got 2 books off my wish list for this year. I was able to sell a lot of books, bust my butt to be able to afford this. This is not something that I was able to afford without being able to buy a collection and sell it. And there's a lesson there, guys. Every book is affordable if you find a creative way, a legal way, but a creative way to get there. And sometimes it takes work. Since February, so all of March and all of April, and the first 2 weeks in May, I ran a minimum of 2 auctions a week on a website, on Facebook. Anywhere from 50 to 100 books an auction. They don't all sell. I've scoured the internet trying to find other books to flip. I've spent very little on comics, but I have bought some. And in the end, I was able to go to Megacon and buy this book. Now this book is not a high-grade book. 1.8. Let's see. You see that corner there is pretty rough. The bottom little chunk there. You can see right there, that corner. It's raw, so, you know, but I think it presents pretty well, man. I think the colors are pretty good on it. The yellows are bright. The blues are nice and they're not faded. Magneto's the right color, red and purple. The Cyclops laser beams red. The green and the banner is good. Thanks, Ben. Who else I got in here? I say I got 4 people watching. Who else I got in here? But yeah, I think it presents beautiful. The guy had it graded at a 1.8. Now here's the story. You guys hear me talk about my LCS, Yancey Street Comics. And there's reason for that. They're complete professionals. So they were at the show. They weren't set up. The owner, Steve, who's I would say is a friend of mine at this point. I mean, we've known each other for a couple years now. I buy a lot of comics from him. I'm a customer, but I consider him somewhat of a friend too. He happened to be at the booth right next to the booth that had this one, and he came over. He's there to buy comics, but he came over, went through this book. I counted every page, which, real quick, thank you to Alex, the comic order. Alex really gave me a lot of tips on buying a raw book and what to look for. Yeah, you know, he told me how many pages were to count. He told me how to look for restoration, hold it up to light. I mean, he didn't assume I knew this stuff, and I didn't know it. And it gave me the confidence to buy a raw book. Now, there is tape on the inside spine. It appears to be Scotch tape, not archival tape, which means it should not get a restored grade. But 1.8 to 2.0 comes back restored. I did everything I could. I had my LCS owner go through this book, and he said it didn't look restored. That doesn't look. I was worried that corner right there. You see that corner? I was worried that might be trimmed. But what he said, and I kind of agree, is he said there's no way that's trimmed, because why would you trim a corner on a book this rough? when you have a corner like that and a chunk there, why would you trim it? He goes, you know, and then it's kind of jagged even too. You can see how it kind of comes down and jags up and down and then jags there. He goes, trimming would be just completely turned, but he goes, they don't just trim the corner, they trim the whole book when they do that. They don't just do a cover. So I'm pretty confident it's not going to come back restored. I am going to get it graded. I think I'm going to do the walkthrough, so that way I get it back in a week. It's $175. I'm going to do a press. They're going to look at it and tell me if it should be cleaned. If it should be cleaned, I'm going to get it cleaned in a press, which is another $20. So it'll be $195 to get it graded with the walkthrough. Or I can spend $105 and get it graded and wait up 6 weeks to get it back. I think I want it back as soon as possible. So yeah, so this is now the top book in my collection. This is book number 1 of my top whatever, top 50, top 5, top 10, whatever you want to do. This is my top book. Super proud to own it. It's a lifelong dream since I was 13 years old and first picked up X-Men 213, Uncanny X-Men 213, and started getting to know who they all were. I said it would be awesome one day to own this book. Thanks for coming along for the ride with me. I'm not done. I got more books I want to go after. And let me ask your guys' opinion. So, obviously, I still want to finish my X-Men run. I have every major key. I need 2 and 8, 16, 17, and 9, 16, 17, and 20 to finish the top 20. Then I need about 15, 20 books after that, but nothing key. My video is in reverse. What do you mean my video is in reverse? Hold on. I don't know how to fix that. Sorry, guys, I don't know how to fix that. I didn't notice that, guys. Sorry about that. So Poor Man Comics just commented that my video is in reverse, and I don't know how to fix that. So, yeah, thanks, man, for being down. Hold on, let me see something. I don't know. Yeah, guys, I don't really know how to fix that. Sorry. So, yep. So, I guess I'll just close it with, I appreciate everyone who came along with the ride. I'm trying to figure out. So, I'm going after a 2 and an 8. The 8 shouldn't be too expensive. It was pretty expensive at the con, so I'll probably end up, it's still a sweet book in reverse. Thanks, Poor Man Comics. Here, I'll turn it around for you. I'm thinking about what will I be able to afford at the next con. There's like, so over the next couple months, I've got Florida SuperCon, which I don't know if I'm going to go to. If I do go to it, it's because Jim Starling's going to be there, and I'd love to get something signed by him and graded. Yeah, buy an AF-15. Yeah, you give me the money, I'll buy it. I'm looking at. So here's my books that I'm looking at. Strange Tales 110. Tales to Astonish 27. Daredevil number 1. Those are the 3. Yeah, I would need. I think if I took a second mortgage out to buy a comic book, Man from Beantown said all I need is a second mortgage to buy an AF-15. I think if I took a second mortgage out to buy an AF-15, I'd have to use the money instead on a divorce lawyer. I think my wife's really understanding of my hobby and patient with it, and I think there's a line there, and I think that would be crossing it. So those are the 3 main books I'm looking at. Tales to Astonish 27, first ink pen. Strange Tales 110, first Doctor Strange, and then Daredevil number 1, first Daredevil. Because I have all the, I need X-Men 2. I think I can get X-Men 2 cheap. I mean, nobody really cares about the first Vanisher, right? X-Men 8, I know I could buy it now, a low-grade copy. The first appearance of Eunice the Untouchable, who, after X-Men 8 have you ever heard of him after X-Men 8? I think I can get a copy of that right now for $60 on eBay. Every book after that I can get for 20 to 30 bucks that I need. So I'm talking about Mega Key. So my next Mega Keys are going to be outside the X-Men. Now, on my list for this year is a Daredevil number 7. Poor Man Comics says he has a low-grade X-Men too. I'm your Huckleberry. Talk to me. If you want to let it go, let me know what you're looking for, and maybe we can make a deal. For sure. I would love to do that. If you're wanting to get rid of it. If you're not wanting to get rid of it, no pressure. So yeah, so I'm not sure what my next big key I'm going to go after is. I've kind of changed my philosophy on collecting. Instead of just buying everything I can at a good price, I mean, there's so many like little keys that yeah, it's cool to have What If number 1. Some people really love that book. I love it. It's the first appearance of the Fantastic Five, with Spider-Man joining the Fantastic Four, and it's just a really cool book and a really neat book to own. But I'd rather sell that along with hundreds of other comics in that range and own a Daredevil number 1. All right, man. I appreciate that. Again, no pressure, brother. No pressure. I'll get one at a con. If you don't want to sell it, I would never try to pressure someone to sell one of their books, or trade them. But so yeah, so I've sold so many books. I had collected just about every tie-in to the Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity Crusade, Infinity War short stories. I'm never going to read them. I just got them because I got them. So I'm getting ready to have an auction tomorrow night, and all of those books are gone. Every one of them. Yeah, hey Alex, how you doing, man? Yeah, Alex just said we're on the same page. The minor keys and beautiful covers are great to have, but he'd rather have the major keys. And I'm just so in tune with that. After listening to ETA Nick, and listen, guys. So in the community, right? We're all part of the same community. You've been lurking since X-Men 4. Oh, well, then you missed X-Men 3, X-Men 6, X-Men 5. Just figured I'd show them back to you. We're all part of the same community, and I think I think all of us watch each other because we enjoy each other's shows. But I think we all, even when we vary on opinions, like Seeking Near Mint Comics, he loves variants, and obviously he wants the higher the grade, the better. And I think we all want high grade, but man, something about owning this book right here, right? So for this book, it's got character. I mean, it's a 4.5, right? Yeah, would I like an 8.0? Sure. A 9.8? Who wouldn't? I mean, but there's something about having the character. Something about having a well-read book. A 9.8, nobody enjoyed the book other than to look at it. Nobody read it. Nobody loved that book. Nobody loved that story. A 4.5, somebody loved that book and took care of it enough to get it to today, I don't know. It's just one of those books that I love. One of those things that I love about collecting. Avengers 4 is another great book. That's on my list. And then I'm also thinking about the Fantastic Fours. So if I don't go... See, here's the thing. I don't think there's going to be any more room for X-Men or Strange Tales 110 and Daredevil 1 to go up. So I think I can get those a year from now. FF is ridiculously expensive right now. I don't know if I couldn't... I'm not going to be able to get an FF1. and I don't really care as much about 2 and 3, but I really want an FF4, which is the first Silver Age Submariner. So I think that might be the next one. I think you can still get those for a reasonable price, 600-700, maybe 500 for a little bit lower grade. So I'm thinking about an FF4, and then of course a 5, a Doctor Doom. I mean, I've got the first appearance of one of the top 2 Marvel villains, and so let me ask your guys' opinion on this. Comment in the comments if you watch this in the rewind. If you're watching now, go ahead and put your comment in now. Who's the Mount Rushmore of Marvel villains? For me, Magneto and Doctor Doom. And I'm doing this off the top of my head, of course. But the Green Goblin and the Red Skull. But I want your guys' opinion, because some people say yes to the Red Skull, some people say no. Some people say Dr. Octopus over the Green Goblin. I want your opinion of who's the top 4 villains in the Marvel Universe. I'm just curious. But as always, guys, appreciate you checking in. It's been 41 minutes, going on 42 minutes. It's getting to be bedtime.